Hi, it's Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. I wanted to do a new series. I realize I'm getting close to having run through a lot of my full face products when I'm doing a chopping block video. And as soon as it's terrible to say this, accumulate a few more, I still have maybe a few more of those that I could do with what I already have in my collection, but I will be revisiting things that I purchased along the way and decide, are you good enough to stay or do you have to go? But the one thing I have like a plethora of is eyeshadow palettes. So I remember a couple years ago, Emily Noel did a video series called I Remember, like E-Y-E, and I thought it was so clever. And I thought, well, she remembers really well. I forget. So I'm calling this series I Forget. And it's basically eyeshadow palettes that have been like pushed to the back of the drawer. Things that I completely forgot that I have. And the one that I'm using today I've had for more than a year and I've never actually put on my eyes. Oh, I feel like one of those little monkeys like see no evil. I don't even want to know that I have anything like that in my collection. So that's what I'm doing today. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. And let me show you what I forgot. What's this? This is the Protege palette from Suva Beauty. It came in my December 2018 Boxy Luxe. And it has two highlights here. I'm sure you could use them on your eye. And all I ever did was swatch this in that Boxy Charm Luxe like unboxing video. I never put them on my eyes because I think we got, somehow I think we got like 2 palettes that month. And this one was kind of like, it's okay. It didn't excite me, so I didn't really reach for it. So I've never tried it. None of these have hit my eyes. And I can see that there are, I have not swatched either of these matte shades. I've swatched everything down here and these guys here, and I'm sure it was just for the video. I think because I normally do a warm neutral eye, I just have to say I'm not allowed to use these guys unless I'm pairing them together with these. I am gonna start out by using this matte shade right here called Poetic. And I've just got kind of like a chunky brush here. It's supposed to be for concealer, but sometimes I really like it, the way that it fits in my crease. This is one of the, I don't think it has a name on it, but I think I picked it up. It's the brand of brushes that Target makes. I don't know, it came in a set. I have other ones with these kind of grayish handles and silver ferrules and white and black tipped bristles. But this one fits very nicely, and I forgot until I found it in my kind of brush drawer. This one works really nicely just to, if it's, as long as it's not a really crazy deep shade, just kind of to buff stuff in quickly into my crease. I think the next thing I'm gonna do is, this shade scares me. These wine berry tones always scare me. I am gonna use it on here, but I'm gonna knock it off. That one's called Aesthetic, and I'm just gonna tap it on right out here on the edge. I don't know if it's me or the brushes I'm using. I feel like it's a little patchy. Really not trying to get it in the crease, but I feel like I need to blend it in that general area, and it's feeling a little patchy. I never like having that happen to me. So I'm using my my Veramona color switch to just knock off all the excess powder from this, and then just see if I can blend right here. I feel like I have places where it's not as well blended, and it looks like there's little white streaks, and I think that's just the lighter color beneath. That's better. I am going to use this center shade here, this metallic shade. This is called, ooh, look at that. It's called Structure. I'm gonna pat this on my lid. It's looking very flaky. I have a ton of fallout right here. Oh, I don't know about that. Let's just brush away all of the sparkly flake. Oh, now it's becoming a little bit highlighty. All right, let's try something else. I'm going to pick some of this shade up on a flat brush. This is a MAC 242. I'm gonna spray it with a little bit of setting spray. and see if we get some better application with this. Because I am not appreciating the amount of fallout. It's kind of... Oh, I still have a ton of fallout. Arrgh. I'm taking a little bit of that deepest matte shade on my finger just to kind of tap over the edge of where this really sparkly shade is so that it doesn't run over my entire lid and I don't lose some of that depth on the outside. So I am picking up just a little bit of this and just tapping it over the eye. There's two highlights in here. This one is more golden. It's called Era. And this one is Theory. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of this on a really dense little short bristled brush and use it right here in my inner corner because it seems to be more cool toned. That's very pretty. Actually, I kind of like that. And then I'm going to take a little bit of Aesthetic, which is the dark burgundy shade. Just a little bit of it on my lower lash line. And then I'm going to take a slightly larger brush that's fluffy and take it into that first real pale, almost lavender type shade called Poetic, and just kind of really blend out and fluff out this lower lash line. Make it not quite so harsh and a lot softer. I'm going to take the Colourpop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Joyride. It's kind of like a burgundy tone, and run it just right here in my upper waterline, and then a little bit across the top lash line. I just poked myself in the eye with the mascara. Can you tell? Oh, not good. Well, if you haven't heard my spiel yet, you wait for all of this business to dry, and then you can either use a clean spoolie or you can use a Q-tip to kind of just like flake it off. Super easy. But you gotta wait like a good 10 minutes. So I'll finish my mascara and then I'll clean up my little mascara disaster zone. So I got all my mascara off using a clean spoolie, but I forget how scratchy these are under the eyes. I will use it sometimes like if I get mascara like above here, but I had it so much down here, I just scratched it all off and I was like, oh, that's starting to hurt, be careful. So if you've got a lot, you might want to use a Q-tip, it might be a little easier, but wait for it to totally dry, otherwise you're just gonna smudge it in. So as I'm thinking about this palette, I'm not surprised that it sat in the bottom drawer because I normally gravitate towards warm neutrals, and these warm neutrals did not call to me the way that others warm neutrals did. And I normally don't use kind of berry and mauve tones, but I really like the overall look of this eye makeup today. I think it turned out good. Now, I do have some problems with the formula in here. I do feel like this shade here called Structure is really flaky and it feels like maybe it's past its prime. Maybe it's not holding together, that it's lost some of the emollient binders. Maybe those have dried up because I had a ton of flaky fallout down here. And I don't have anything else from Suva Beauty, so I don't know whether that's just a formula flaw for all of their more foiled and metallic shades or whether it's just, it's been sitting in my shelf for too long. The other question that I have, and I even hate to raise this as a possibility, but sometimes I feel like the things that we get in BoxyCharm might be products that aren't moving quickly, are coming close to their expiration date. And I wonder if this had been close to its expiration date and BoxyCharm got it for a great price. Now, I have fallen in love with this shade here. This one is Aesthetic, and it is a really pretty, and I never thought I would wear a shade like this, but I actually really like it. So I started digging through the rest of my eyeshadow collection. I go, what do I have that's similar? The first thing that came to mind was A Dose of Color's Marvelous Mauves. And I felt like this one here is not nearly as saturated and a little bit more brown. So I was like, okay, maybe not that. And then I thought, you know, I have a Colourpop palette of singles. I wonder if maybe this shade, it's kind of close. This one's a little more plummy. It's like, okay, maybe not, maybe not. I pulled out my Z palette full of Makeup Geek singles. I don't have anything kind of close at all. But the thing that really came the closest was this. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. What a throwback, right? And I feel like this shade here is Venetian Red, and this one here is Love Letter. And I feel like if I were to blend these two together, I might get kind of, because I feel like it's kind of close between these two more berry type shades. I know if I were to go through, there are some berry type shades that are this color in the Emily Noel Wants palette from Makeup Revolution. There was one in here. This one is funny. This is the Meet Matrimony. This shade in the middle, Meet Matt Kumar, that's very similar. So it's not like I feel like I have to keep this one palette. I am gonna do my very best to make decisions before 14 months pass by because it seems like a shame. Now I did use this highlight here. I do feel, I don't want to make any bright streaks on my face because all my fingers are red now, but I feel like it really brings out my 45-year-old skin texture and adds some years to it. And I don't feel like my skin is really heavily textured, but it's still cold where I live. It's still winter and it's still, I don't have the skin of a 20-year-old and that's okay. I don't need it to be, you know, plump and all of these things. I just need highlights that are not gonna play up the aspects of my skin that I'm not trying to highlight. So I feel like everything about this palette, I can understand why it sat in my drawer and I feel very comfortable saying I can let it go. So I'm going to put it in my declutter box and let friends look through it. I'm going to contact my local women's shelter and see if they'll take gently used products that have been sanitized. You can just take a spray bottle with alcohol in it and spray all of these down, and once everything has dried, it's sanitized. And if anybody else can get some use out of it, great. If not, I'm just going to have to toss it because it's definitely not something I'm going to reach for again. And I wish I had a better experience because I don't like having the only palette I have from a brand and I don't have anything else to try and it's a negative experience. So maybe Suva Beauty is amazing. If you've tried anything from them and you've had a positive experience, would you let me know in the comments down below? But I'm definitely going to be letting this Protege palette go. Thank you so much for watching today. I want to do some of these maybe on the shorter side videos, but where it focuses more on one product. And I know that this is not like a review. This is just, I know I'm not going to reach for it again, but I do like this berry toned eye look. And I definitely think that with some of the other palettes I have, I could very easily recreate this look. And I like that I paired it with a really deep, deep vampy lip. It feels very 1920s with my short curly bob. So there you go. Thanks for watching today. Let me know if there's anything that you've forgotten about and just kind of sat in the back and you're like, oh, whoa, I forgot about that. Let me know what it was and whether when you pulled it out, it was kind of like joy and you were happy and you were glad you rediscovered it, or if it's like, yeah, I kind of see why it got shoved to the back and it's time to get rid of it. Let me know in the comments down below. Have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you again soon. Bye.